The Lazy Dads podcast contains lots of swearing. Lots and lots of swearing. You have been warned.
You're listening to the Lazy Dads Guide to Movies in association with The Session Booth, your one-stop shop for video production, social media management and graphic design. Yeah, how's it going there? Can I get a quarter pounder and chips, please? I'll have 2 breasts of southern fried chicken and chips, turkey tumbler, and I'll also take a jingle, please. Thanks a million.
Insert theme song here.
Lazy dads, lazy dads, lazy dads, lazy dads.
And we're back without a guest.
Yeah, what the fuck's turkey tumbler?
You don't know anything about turkey tumbler with Tony Cascarino sauce?
No.
You haven't had one of them?
No.
Well, next time you're ringing a chipper, just ask them for a turkey tumbler.
Turkey tumbler.
Add it onto your order and,
Okay.
and have it come. Now, I won't tell you anything about it.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it's like, but it's a special thing that chippers know about. And
Okay.
just ask for turkey tumbler.
Might do that later on.
Don't ask for Tony Cascarino sauce because that's not real. But ask for turkey tumbler.
Turkey tumbler.
But make sure you add it to your order because whether you like it or not is another thing.
Alright, okay. Yeah, no guest. Just us. This
No
is
guest.
weird. I don't like it.
We need to talk about the fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah, I fucked up. Well, the producer fucked up. I'm not going to blame myself on this. He's a different animal altogether. Yeah. It
We
was
had a
serious.
massive 2-parter special again with Kevin Shields,
Yeah.
the legend,
Like, it was over 3 hours.
and we lost an hour and a half.
We lost an hour and a half of it. But yeah,
First episode.
I think last week's episode was just as good. Part 2.
It was interesting, alright, but it would have been nice to fit, to have that kind of the momentum we had from the first episode going through into the second one would kind of make
Yeah.
sense. You'd hear it, but sure, look, as I said to you earlier on, we wouldn't be a bona fide podcast without a lost episode, would
Yes, and we certainly are a bona fide podcast.
we? Yes, so there you go. Now, you watch some films, I watch some films. I need to do a throwback to last week's episode about needless sex scenes. I
Okay.
need to get this out of my head because
Yeah,
I don't
go.
want to fucking forget. When Jurassic Park came out, a cheapy dinosaur themed film came out alongside it called Carnosaur.
Oh, I remember the
Where
name
they, where
of
they
it.
bred a fucking like T-Rex raptor yolk out of chicken eggs and basically it went on a fucking rampage. It was a fully over 18s and there was blood, gore, you name it.
It
Like
was
the main.
it was Jurassic World.
Well, no. This was gory. Like it was.
Yeah.
There was nothing kind of. There was no joviality in this. It was just a kind of gritty, cheap, gory cash in, But kind of a fun one though. I can't help liking the film. I remember watching it years ago. You remember when we used to rent all VHS down in the video shop and bring it home? We'd have the trailers in the start.
Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing the Carnosaur trailer at the start of some film. I can't remember what it was, and going, "Oh shit! I need to see that," because it was the shot where you see the dinosaur's mouth coming up and it's full of teeth, but there's blood all over.
Yeah.
So it had just eaten somebody, and then there's a quick snippet of the main guy fighting the T-Rex raptor yolk, whatever, Carnosaur, I think they call it Carnosaur, in like the small white fucking what are those yolk called? The lift pallets up and down. Forklift. A small white forklift, and he's fighting it and it looked cool. Right, I only got to see it then years and years and years later, and I bought a really shitty fucking cheapy DVD of Carnosaur 1 and Carnosaur 2. This is a sequel. I think there's also Carnosaur 3, and I was like, well, it'll be interesting, let's see what it's like.
Carnosaur.
Is it Carnosaur or Carnosaur? I think it's Carnosaur. It is Carnosaur.
Carnivorous monster, I believe, is the translation from Latin, if my Latin serves me correctly.
Well, there we go. I mean, Derek,
We learn something new every day, don't
that
we?
Masters is going to good use there.
Absolutely.
But no, I said right up grand. I slapped on Carnosaur 1. Had fun time watching it. Stupid, completely stupid. I had fun time watching it. But Carnosaur 2 was the real fucking doozy. And we were talking last week about needless sex scenes.
Yes.
Well, there's a scene in Carnosaur 2 where a fella and a board ride on the back of a pickup, but the scene goes on for 20 minutes.
Oh, it's like the
It
Room,
doesn't
isn't it?
stop, and it's
Yeah.
like a really bad softcore porn,
Yeah.
really, 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 really bad. And for what I can remember, there were massive big fake ditties as well, and all the fucking. It's just so dragged out and horrible,
Yeah.
And all you want is just dinosaurs to come and eat people. Like, that's what you're watching this for. You get this really, really shitty fucking sex scene. I completely forgot about it. It only popped into my head and I was thinking about last week's episode. But that was Carnosaur 2. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest.
Just while you were talking about that, we talked about needless sex scenes. I thought of a great sex scene in a film.
So we're further justifying the argument that we're trying to make against sex scenes.
No. This is just like it's pure parody.
Oh,
but it's very kind of not subtle parody. You know what I'm talking about when I say it's Demolition Man.
I don't remember Demolition Man.
Do you know?
It's been so long since I saw it.
Is
this the where they put the VR headsets on?
Yeah. I thought that was fucking genius because you think it's going to go down the road of
Sly takes it off like, what the fuck was that? What's that?
And he also utters the immortal words, the Hunga Chunga.
What?
Afterwards he's going through all
I'm
his
a massive
words.
Sly fan and I have nobody slagging him.
No, I love Demolition Man. It's a fuck great film, but he goes through all the things he called sex, and obviously he's in the future. He thought that sex was intercourse as opposed to sticking on 2 fucking VR headsets with a fucking couple of towels. And he starts calling, the 2-back beast, the Hunga Chunga. I just could not stop laughing when he called it the Hunga Chunga, which is now what I refer to it all the time.
Oh, it's out.
Yeah.
Understand to the message. We're going for a bit of Hunga Chunga.
Exactly, yeah.
Right,
exactly.
excellent. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, how could you resist that?
Absolutely, and I do it in Sly's voice as well.
Must try it out in the missus later on.
Do your best Sly impression. Hunga Chunga. I love Sly.
No, I can't slag him off. Like, I absolutely love him to bits. Do you know, it would be great to actually do a special with Sly, and do you know who'd be perfect for that?
Who?
Ed King, because he's a massive Sly fan as well.
Yeah,
and actually, so is Kev as well.
I need to sit down and rewatch all the classic Sly films. I need to watch all the Rockies. I haven't seen the Rambos in a while. I'm looking forward to a new one.
Oh, it's certified hard,
Yeah.
and I believe somebody I know without saying anything has seen it.
Oh, yeah?
And has claimed it's excellent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want to give that away there, but
I thought Rambo was going to be shit. And
I bet you blew your nips off.
Shit.
You blew your nips off the way that 50 caliber blew heads off in the film.
Yeah, what happened was when it was coming out, I hadn't seen the 3 originals for a long, long time, so I went out and bought the 3 of them, and I watched them one after the other. And I've said this before: Rambo or First Blood rather, is a very different film to the rest of them.
Oh, yeah.
But the rest of them are all very similar. If you took First Blood out of the equation, it would almost work as a trilogy from First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3 and Rambo. And I think the new one's probably more in the same vein of the second trilogy, if you will, than First Blood. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I am. First Blood stands out in itself as kind of a somewhat realistic, gritty film.
Yeah.
And the other two then are kind of popcorn action movies.
Yes.
But with decent enough kind of, I suppose the second one has a decent enough message behind it. The third one about arming the Afghanis, eventually turn into the bleeding Taliban. I'm not quite sure about that message, but still.
Yeah, it was of its time, and Rambo 3 is fucking brilliant. I don't know how
Rambo
bad
3
words said about
is
it.
amazing. All the Rambo franchise in its entirety is one of my most loved series of films. And the Rambo character, while the style of film changes, like it goes from kind of gritty, almost kind of like realism, to popcorn comic book superhero madness by Rambo 3, back to kind of like grittiness in number 4, but with just a massive violence level. Rambo himself, or should I say Stallone himself, stayed consistent as the character. So
absolutely,
it's so easy to love that character. It really is.
And that's where Die Hard falls down, and also I think where Rocky kind of falls down.
Rocky
follows the same trajectory where it goes from this
the
realistic.
first one is realistic again.
I love the first Rocky, but I also love Rocky 4 for a completely different reason.
But as a kid, though, you loved them.
I know.
You
what I'm saying.
fucking loved them.
No, what I'm saying is I love it for a
jumping
different
around.
reason.
Come on, Rocky.
Yeah, but get up, ya bam. Yeah. And Die Hard follows the same trajectory as well. Where Die Hard 1, he's a vulnerable kind of character, and the rest of him, he's a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
I like Die Hard 2 and 3. I hate 4 and 5. But it's not the...
Die Hard 2 is the one that's aged the worst.
Yeah, I do
it
agree
really
with
has.
that.
Like, number 1 stands head and shoulders above all the rest of them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
3 is good crack. And the other ones then are just I've no time for. So I can't watch number 2, and definitely the ones after number 3 is just not good luck.
Number 2 to me is a action film. It's not like, well, obviously Die Hard's an action film. It's probably the blueprint for the great action film, but it's not the same type of film. It's that popcorny fucking he's a superhero, unkillable, death machine. It should have been Arnie playing that role. That would have been fun. Even the introduction to the fucking villain in that, where he's doing Tai Chi naked, all covered in baby oil. Compare that to Hans Gruber getting into the lift.
Yeah, he was just a smart man. That's why, like all the gritty realism was taken out of it, Die Hard. But then how Rambo took the gritty realism away, did it in a fun way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Die Hard,
yeah.
they just age poorly. Like
You're-
definitely
you-
number 2 is age.
You're right. It has aged the worst out of a lot of them.
Yeah,
But it's a popcorn action film.
it's funny. The biggest memory I have of Die Hard 2 is actually getting Die Hard 2 on the Commodore 64.
Oh, the game.
And the game, yeah. The tape game, now not the cartridge. I think it was a cartridge version, but the game came in a box bigger than like a board game box. It was a massive, big, huge box, and you open it, and the instruction manual that big, and a fucking tape that big. Like 97% of that box was space.
Yeah, I remember them.
But
Yeah.
then looking at the back of it, like it was a light gun game, but for whatever reason, I could never get the light gun working on the Commodore for that game. But you could on the what was the better one on the Commodore 64? Was it the
Sinclair Spectrum, was it?
Is the Commodore 128?
Oh, yeah.
I think it might have been a better one.
Yeah.
But long story short, I could never get the light gun working on that one, despite getting it working on other games. But
I remember getting Batman on the Commodore 64.
great game.
Yeah. But you remember it came in the box like as big as this fucking table?
No, the Batman I got was the Ocean collection.
Yeah, I
So
got
it
the
was a
Ocean
small
one.
tape deck or tape.
Yeah, this was a
hard
tape as
case.
well, but again, it came in
A massive
this
box.
fucking. I know you can't see my arms, but like they're literally the size of
He
the
is
sun.
literally
Yeah, so I unusually have watched 4 films this week. 5 films, 4.5 films this week.
I've watched a couple to talk about.
Okay, well, one of them I know you're going to get excited about. I watched 2 great documentaries. I have this thing where I watch.
They're not really films.
No, they're as long as a film. I watch documentaries often on stuff that I've no interest in. So I watched a documentary about wine tasters. I found it fascinating. I watched a documentary about the guitarists from the Grateful Dead. I found it fascinating.
Okay.
So I watched this week. I watched a documentary on the drummer from Cream, Ginger Baker.
You're running off here now. Give me one really interesting fact about wine tasting that you got from the documentary.
No, it wasn't about wine tasting. It's about how they try and become master sommeliers, and it's just the intricate process that they have to go through. Like they have to know like 100 wines just by taste and be able to describe them exactly as other people have described them.
And is it a wanky thing or is it actually real? Can they actually do that job?
They can actually do it, but it's wanky. But the things these people go through, for what I can see is a completely pointless, fruitless pursuit, was entertaining to me.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Move on from that. It sounds boring. Next,
No, it's not boring.
Grateful Dead.
That's the whole point. Is it's not boring.
Yeah, but it sounds fucking
It
boring.
sounds boring,
on a
but
fucking podcast on a big wine.
No, but I'm just giving an example of what sort of documentaries
That's
I watch.
really interesting point. You get fucking shy.
No, but you have to see it.
I know. I'm only like
What you call it? I watched the Grateful Dead guitarist documentary. I watched that a few weeks ago. Again,
a good fact that maybe we didn't know from the documentary.
the Grateful Dead's music's absolute fucking wank and shy.
I'm not a Grateful Dead fan.
I
either.
neither am I. No, it's just interesting to watch his life and watch the Grateful Dead, and apparently your man Jerry Garcia was a really nice fella and just fucked up. So there you go. That's
And no other interesting points you can give us about it.
no.
Okay, move on.
No, but the ones I watched this week were Ginger Baker, the drummer
Right,
from
yeah.
Cream. Beware, Mr. Baker. One of the world's biggest arseholes.
Really?
What a horrible, horrible human being. And I'm going to whisper this in case he hears it. Not a very good drummer. He was only alright. There's better. You know, he was so full of himself. He's like, oh yeah, I was just born naturally with time and shit. Yeah, most drummers are. You know, and he treated his son like shit. His son wanted to become a drummer. And he treated him like shit. The son does every interview topless, and he's like fucking muscly as fuck, and it's like he's eating a bowl of fucking cereal or something. So I thought to myself, he's an even bigger prick than his outfit. Put a t-shirt on, you know. So anyway, that was Ginger Baker's documentary.
What? Give us another thing about mate Ginger Baker.
He was always fighting with your man Jack Bruce. You know Jack Bruce from Cream. He was the bass player.
I don't know much about Cream, to be honest with you. Like
Cream were like the original super
no, I know the band.
Yeah,
I know a lot
so
of their stuff. But
Eric Clapton,
I don't know the history, the story behind
Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker, right?
Yeah.
They were considered the best musicians of their time in that era, so they're their first kind of super group, if you will.
Yeah.
Jack Bruce was the bassist and singer. You know their songs like Sunshine, Your Love,
Cocaine and
White
all that,
Room. No, that's Eric Clapton.
Was that not?
No.
Alright.
But anyway, Eric Clapton, I think, is a fantastic guitarist and a terrible singer. Jack Bruce is a brilliant singer, and if you listen to some Cream stuff, it's really good. Now, don't get me wrong, Ginger Baker's a good drummer, but he's not as good as he thinks he is, and he was always fighting with Jack Bruce.
Right.
So Ginger Baker moved. Jack Bruce is Scottish, so he's living in Scotland, and Ginger Baker moved all around the world, and he actually went to Lagos in Nigeria when Nigeria was really bad, like rife with civil war, and set up a recording studio.
Right.
So when the government found when the government found this out, they weren't getting enough money out of him or something like that, so they sent armed militia in and shut down the studio, and Ginger Baker just jumped in his car and fucked off.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting life, complete arsehole. The other documentary I watched was Andre the Giant.
I've seen a bit of this one actually. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Yeah.
So good. Like, I'm not a fan of wrestling. I was when I was younger. I'm not now.
Those personalities are amazing though.
Yeah.
Like Jake the Snake and all the shit they went through.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like, to watch Hulk Hogan talk about his relationship with Andre, and you know, Andre the Giant obviously is a legend, and even Rob Reiner and what's his fucking name, Billy Crystal, around talking with the Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that film.
That's good crack, that film.
Absolutely love that film.
And shout out the Cliffs of Moher. The whole start of that film is the Cliffs of Moher down at Clare, County Clare.
I didn't know that.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Cousin worked as a safety guy on that shoot.
You're joking.
I swear to God, you know the whole bit they start to jump out of the ship and you have the weird eel things chasing them. They get ashore and then they climb a big huge cliff.
Yeah,
that's the Cliffs of Moher.
Really?
And all of the external shots from a distance where you see somebody climbing up, but that's either my cousin or his counterpart in that kind of safety crew that was involved. He actually gave me, when I was down with him last time, a couple of years ago, he gave me a cool picture album.
Yeah,
I saw pictures of him and Rob Reiner and all the crew, and everything.
That's fucking dead. Yeah, get him as a guest.
Yeah. Well, that would be interesting now.
That would be. No, I would gladly sit down and listen about that shoot all day, because the cast and that's fucking amazing.
But that's all the Cliffs of Moher. Next time you're down there now, you can see that's where fucking Princess Bride was at.
I've never been there.
Never been down the Cliffs of Moher? But for anybody out there who would be considering a trip to Ireland, the entire west coast is some of the most beautiful countryside in the entire world. In fact, Ireland is the most beautiful country in the world. I've said it there. But the Cliffs of Moher is stunning. Yeah. And it's down in County Clare, and it's relatively easy to get because it's a good tourist spot.
Yeah. And I was down in that other town down there, Doolin. I know it's not far from Cliffs of Moher.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's a great little town. So anyway, Andre the Giant, fantastic documentary.
I'll throw out something on the back of that as well.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's podcast. He does a podcast episode with Jake the Snake.
I haven't listened to that one. Yeah.
Jake Roberts, and it's stunning. But he does some fantastic. It's an amazing podcast, and he does some fantastic. It gives some great insight into Andre the Giant and Jake's relationship, but also Andre the Giant separately, and how he used to be picked on a lot because of his size, and how he was bullied a lot on his size. You know, that actual documentary watch is a really heartbreaking documentary. Really sad. And then also about Diamond Dallas Page, and how Diamond Dallas Page is just specifically out there trying to help people at the minute, and how much of an amazing person he is. It's a great podcast, so it's definitely one to listen to.
Yeah. No, I do like Joe Rogan's podcast. Like, you know, they're always fucking 3 hours long or something, so I dip in and out.
He does have something like, he had Bernie Sanders on the other day for an hour. You can only have him for an hour, and then, you know, it does vary.
Your man David Lee Roth was one of the greatest podcasts I've ever listened to.
That's great. Actually, Billy Corgan is great as well.
I haven't listened to that one. I'll stick that down the list.
It's really interesting. You know, Billy Corgan's one of the most intelligent people ever. Like, you know, crazy beliefs and really interesting.
No, I love his madness.
He's great. He's such an amazing personality.
Right, what else did I watch? I stuck on a film that had been recommended to me. I can't remember. I think I heard it online or whatever, you know, and it was called Safety Not Guaranteed, and it's a time travel film, and it's shit. So I gave up after an hour. So
that's an hour that you spent watching that when you could have spent it watching a litany of good films that you've been recommended left, right and centre since we started this podcast. Go on anyway.
Followed that up with a fantastic film.
Go on.
You like All the President's Men, am I correct?
Yes.
Have you seen Spotlight?
No.
Spotlight is as good as All the President's Men.
Okay.
There, I said it. I don't know who won the Oscar there a few years ago, but I only found it out after I watched it. It's about the Spotlight team in the Boston Herald, I'm going to say. I could be wrong about the name of the paper. Based on a true story about how they investigated paedophile priests back in the early 2000s. And it's fucking brilliant. Michael Keaton's in it. Mark Ruffalo's in it. Some guy I don't know in it. He's real good. And your one from Doctor Strange is in it, who's also real good.
Cool. No, I haven't seen it. I've only heard of it. I don't know anything about it though. So
it's brilliant. I love all those journalistic thrillers or journalistic films.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like State of Play as well.
All the President's Men.
Yeah. Again, All the President's Men set the bar. I think Spotlight's better, but that's just me. Alright, I'm gonna mark them off my list. Now, the last one I watched last night. The Night Comes for Us.
Yes! You finally watched one that we recommended. Fucking hell! That's why your nips are still on the wall in the sitting room, because they were blown off by how amazing the film was, correct?
right? There was parts I fucking loved. There was parts I really didn't like.
Let me guess. The parts you didn't like is the incoherency in the plot line.
No, actually, I enjoyed the plot.
Okay.
And I love I tell you what I loved about it first, right? I loved the plot. Some of the fighting scenes I loved. The last fight in particular blew me away. And it looks realistic. Like, your man, there's one stage...
Fighting the butchers, man.
The fight in the butchers is good.
Oh.
It's good. But there's moments, right? There's moments of shots that I fucking hate. Like, there's one stage he picks up the AK-47. Just to give you an example of the type of shot I hated. Was that you can see down the barrel of the AK-47. Or, you know, the start of the warehouse fight, when he initially walks in and you can see over his shoulder. I was like, oh no, I don't like this. And then it switched to the second part, the second kind of half of that fight. It's fucking amazing. We've been surrounded by all the guys with the machetes, and he's got the body on his back. Fucking brilliant. But there was shots I didn't like. Like, you know, the fight with the three women. The first half of that, up until the Chinese one gets strangled, is a bit meh. And then the second part, the knife fight, I was just like, oh, this is fucking deadly. You know, like, I loved it, right? Overall, I loved it.
All the negative things you're saying about The Night Comes For Us, it does not compute with the minute. Go on anyway.
No, okay, right. It's just certain shots. It has that, and what I love about it is it has that Asian film. A lot of Asian films like this, they're like a fucking dream, and I think it's a lot to do with the score. Scoring that is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Parts of it feel like they were trying something new with, you know, edits and camera shots that just didn't work. But parts of it felt like they were trying something new that very much did work.
The whole film worked for me. There was elements of, as I said, incoherency in the plot and like the main baddie in it and everything. But I just didn't care because I was just being blown away by such fucking savage. Savage in the truest sense of savage. Fucking fight scenes.
Sometimes.
I mean, the bit in the butchers when the big slab of meat falls down and smashes your man's head, disintegrates your man's head, and then on the fucking cutting table or and he has the fucking bone saw thing goes straight through your man's kneecap. It's like, oh god.
Don't get me wrong, I love bits like that, and it just felt like it was aiming to be something and just falling short at certain times. I think the plot to it was fucking brilliant. I love the plot to it. I don't actually have any problems with the plot to it because they tried to present your man from the raid. I don't know his name. What's his name? Arian or something. His name, the character, the bad guy. Yeah. And they're trying to convey him as a conflicted character, and then you just kind of give up and say, "Alright, he's just the bad guy now." You know, like at the very end. And I didn't mind that. I quite liked the idea and the plot of it.
The fight with the mates then in the apartment. And the baddies just kept running in.
You know, I didn't like that.
Oh, I see.
No, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And do you know what?
This could be the very last several Lazy Dads Good movies episode.
Don't go. No, sorry. When I say
but the mad mate, the fucking mad fella, they just keep hacking him and he just keeps going.
There's elements of it I fucking love. Like the bit where he has your man at the window and he scrapes his head across and fucks him out the window. Brilliant.
Yeah.
There were elements of it. I remember just thinking, oh, I don't like this. And then next of all, it changed like that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm back in. And like there's one, you know, where they come out and there's 3 guys standing outside waiting for them, and then the 2 women and the gang come out of the elevator, and your woman just hacks through the 3 guys.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Why not?
I just didn't like the way it was shot or something. It was just meh. But then when she has the fight with your man, the junkie guy, was brilliant. You know, and he goes to headbutt her, she just goes stab right in the eye. Like I was just like, yes. I just think they were trying for something and just fell short at times.
They weren't trying for anything. They were filming this fucking deadly fucking mad action movie and they pulled it off.
Now, when I say, right, there was bits I didn't like, I'm not saying I watched that whole fight in the apartment, oh, I don't like this. There was bits like, it was only like, it could be 3 seconds where I went, I don't like that shot, or I don't like this, but again, 2 seconds later you're back on board. Apparently they're looking to make a trilogy of that.
Oh, I'm all in. Fucking do it. Let's do it.
And I reckon if they make a second one, they'll probably improve those bits that I didn't like.
They don't need to improve anything, Derek, and we'll just have to move along. We'll just have to make the different now. Man, I don't know. Like, yeah, fair enough. I kind of get what you're saying, but I don't think the movie warrants that kind of breakdown of it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, if it was a slow moving fucking historical drama or something where you know kind of picking it would be appropriate. Fair enough, but then I kind of get what you're saying as well about aspects of it. But I was just blown away by the fight scenes. I thought like what I loved about it was the gruesomeness of the fight scenes and how fucking horrible some of the fight scenes were. That's what really got me. But I haven't seen fight scenes that kind of gnarly, I suppose, or that kind of visceral. In me fight scene watching time, like, you know.
Yeah, like it doesn't fuck around.
No, it really doesn't.
We were talking about a couple of weeks ago about good CGI, bad CGI. This is excellent CGI. Like
it's
squirts of blood, well, the squirts of blood are very much not.
But it looks good though. Like,
like overall, it's a great film. I would highly recommend anyone to watch it. And maybe I am being too critical and micro criticizing things, but it was never a stage where I was watching it going, "Oh man, I don't like this. I'm turning it off," or "They've lost me now." Never at any stage. Because the first time it happened, the first shot, it was very quick. I was like, oh no. And then next thing it flipped back to something I liked again. I just think that, like, I'm not going to compare it to the Raid, but you look at the Raid's fight choreography and shooting and editing is far superior because it kept me engaged every fucking second, whereas this would lose me for 5 or 6 seconds, but it had me back for the next 15 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever, you know what I mean? So again, you're probably right and probably micro criticising if need to sleep, but it never lost me at any stage.
You certainly weren't bored watching it, that's for
fucking
sure.
No. It definitely was not bored watching it at any stage. And do you know what I really like about it? It's like a film with two halves. The first half, I remember when it came to the end where your man Ito's after being taken by the cops. I said to myself, if this film ended now in the next 10 minutes, I'd kind of be happy. So I paused it to go to the toilet. It was only an hour into it. I was like, there's another fucking hour of this. Excellent. But yeah, it's a film with two halves, both equally as good as each other. But you know, like most films are split into 3 acts. This is 2 acts, Act 1 and Act 2, and they're the same thing set in different situations. But yeah, really enjoyed it overall. Couple of little criticisms.
Good. And do you watch anything else? I just before you called over there, I was just flicking through the channels and Tuxedo with Jackie Chan was on. It's not great.
It's not great. I'd seen it years ago, but
it's more of a kids film.
It is a kids film. It's completely kids film. It was shown at 11 o'clock in the morning. I switched it on and it was about 15 minutes into it, maybe just switched on just to have on in the background, and it was the scene where he's becoming friends with your man Mr. Devlin, the guy whose tuxedo he takes, and Jackie Chan smiled, and it just made me realise every time Jackie Chan smiles it makes my heart very warm.
Oh, he's class.
What a cute face.
Yeah, he's deadly.
And I said about The Foreigner, he can change that around as well.
Oh, he's a good actually dramatic actor as well. That's the thing about him. What did I watch this week? Okay, so for whatever fucking reason, you've heard of the movie Alligator from the 80s, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Alligator is actually a great film. Sharp script, it's funny, great puppet. The actual practical effects are class. There's a decimation scene at the end when the fucking alligator just fucking tears through a country fucking party, like out in the lawn or this estate of the mayor or whatever the fuck, and just eats people left, right and centre and slaps people with its tail. It's just a great film. The sequel, Alligator 2 The Mutation, the copy I have at home is from Anchor Bay, and it has Alligator 1 and it has Alligator 2 in it, and for whatever reason I was like, I can't remember. I remember disliking it, but I just can't remember, and I felt in the mood for like something under the water eating people movie. That's what I felt like.
That's very specific.
But I do love films like that. Piranha, Jaws, any kind of shark film.
There was kind of a lot of them in the 80s, wasn't there?
There was a few of them, yeah. All spurred on by Jaws, probably.
Absolutely, yeah.
But there's actually the new ones coming out now. Crocodile. It's a crocodile.
Crawl.
The Italian ones. That looks great. No, sorry. The Crocodile is it's an old Italian Crocodile 1, Crocodile 2. It's a Crocodile. Jeez, I can't even remember if it's Crocodile now. But that's been released by 80. It was been released in the US by Severn Films, I think, on Blu-ray. And I was upset because it wasn't multi-region. Mm-hmm. But 88 movies are doing their own box set of number 1 and 2. I'm really looking forward to getting that because they're just gory messes, like, you know. But they're great fun. But Alligator 2, it was terrible. It was so bad. The directing was so inept at times, and like, you know, there was like there's one scene where you see a 10-year-old girl, she's pointing out into the lake and there's a fucking leg floating in the lake, like, you know, with a boot on it, and a policeman comes over and he tries to fish it out, like, while he's beside the girl, and points to it, without like, you know, it's a fucking floating leg, like, you know, to turn the girl away, the young girl away from it, don't let her see a fucking floating leg, like really inept scenes. But there's one bit that made me laugh out loud, like there's a, you know, it has this kind of serious undertone to it, and the main detective in it, I can't remember his name, you say like it's like Garcia or something, we say Garcia, but there's a bit in it where he goes to try and convince the mayor, who's doing a line with this kind of crooked businessman about building up this rake of fucking flats or apartments or whatever, but they're pumping all the toxic stuff down into the sewers or telling anybody, and that's how the alligator gets mutated. Usual kind of plot line. But he goes in anyway, and there's two guards standing outside, and two guards like, oh hey, it's Garcia. And the Garcia says something and walk off. The guards look at each other like something out of a comedy review. Oh, Garcia! Together, like, you know, oh, Garcia. It's so bad, it's terrible. But there's a bit in it where there's a I'm not going to spend much more time talking to the shy film, but there's a bit in it where there's a rookie cop, and he's kind of doing a line with the mayor's daughter. But before they get together, he's trying to find his confidence, right? And how he finds his confidence to talk to her is she's walking away from him, and he says, "Hey, are those pants too tight?" And she goes, "Why?" He goes, "Because you got a great backyard." Jesus Christ! And it made me laugh out loud. It was so bad and pure. It was probably the best part of the whole film. You know, rest of it pure shite. Don't want to talk about it anymore. But I did watch Way of the Dragon, Bruce Lee Way of the Dragon again. Oh, yeah. I watched the Blu-ray version by is it Medium Rare Entertainment or Cinema Rare Entertainment or something like that, released the Blu-rays. I'd love to see 88 Movies are doing tremendous work with the early Jackie Chan stuff, and now they're releasing some newer Jackie Chan stuff. Eureka done tremendous work with Jackie Chan stuff. I'd love to see Eureka, 88 Movies or Arrow get their hands on the Bruce Lee and do really, really good Bruce Lee transfers. The transfer I have, it's okay. You know, it's okay. There's a lot of options there. There's a lot of features to it and everything else, but there's some really soft footage and soft shots. Yeah. And I know that the actual reels themselves and the actual prints they're coming from are probably pretty poor in and of themselves, but still. Anyway, long story short, just watching Way of the Dragon again and absolutely lapping her up and loving it. But laughing at it, I know we were talking off air that it's been a long time since you saw, but the main baddies in it, they look hilarious in it, the way they're dressed and all. It's really, really funny. But there's no denying Bruce Lee is like a skill. Like, you know, there's one scene in it where he's teaching some of the guys who run the Chinese restaurant, teaching them some moves out in the alley out behind the restaurant. And one of the moves is one of the guys is holding like a kick bag, and he's standing there properly holding a kick bag, like, you know, like with balance and everything else, and he kicks him. And he sends him back. Now, I know it's put on, like, and you man obviously embellish it, whatever. But even for the element of force that came from Bruce Lee's kick into that, you can see it. Yeah. And it's incredible. And then the fight scenes, it's where he uses the double nunchucks and he batters fellas with the double nunchucks, and it's just I
vaguely remember seeing that.
Oh, it's so enjoyable to watch. And the fight scenes, in general, are amazing. But then it has. Remember, I was telling you there a while ago about the idea of Bruce's idea of pulling the, because he directed Way of the Dragon, pulling the camera back. No more of these short close-up shots and kind of edits to kind of hide like poor choreography. It's pull the camera back and actually show the fight. Have a fight and show it.
Could I just, before you go any further, there were a couple of shots I had a problem with in The Night Comes For Us. There was a couple of just close-up shots.
Quick cuts.
Yeah, that's probably the main thing. It's
hiding editing. Usually that's hiding say poor choreography, or when they get back into edit the film and they're looking and they go, oh, the faraway shot, that looks really poor, that's really slow. If we speed it up, it looks pure sped up, so let's fucking just go quick cut. But with the fight with Chuck Norris at the end, the camera is right back, boom, there it is. It's almost like a 2D fighter, like, you know, you could imagine like one person controlling Bruce, one person controlling Chuck Norris. That's how detailed it is. But as a fight itself, it's so detailed, like, you know, it's so well choreographed. It's just a brilliant fight. And I just love that film so much. And you know, it's weird. The film takes, when you watch it again, you'll see how that film goes. Like, it starts off kind of on a comedic turn, where it's like Bruce, the kind of naive Chinese man in Italy, and that kind of, and, you know, people kind of looking at him going, oh look, it's a you know, it's a Chinese man,
someone's different,
someone looks different. And there's a whole scene where he's standing there in the balcony, this Elman is just staring at him, she won't stop looking at him,
You've obviously never been to Italy then.
and he's starving hungry as well, and he tries to eat this kid's ice cream. It's actually genuinely funny. And then he gets to the restaurant, and he sees the restaurant then they're under attack by like this gang are trying to work for this horrible businessman. He wants the restaurant to knock it down and build something else, or whatever the fuck he wants to do with it. But they're harassing them, and they keep coming in and sending all the fucking, harassing like the patrons of the restaurant and all that sort of stuff. So you see all that kind of nastiness happens, and then they have a go at Bruce, and Bruce fucking batters a whole load of them out in the back alley, and then they come back then for revenge, and Bruce fucking batters a load of them again. And there's a great scene then where he actually goes home to his apartment. There's a fella standing there like sitting in a chair holding a gun at Bruce, and just no fucking about. Bruce pulls it. He's been making these little darts, pulls out a dart, sticks it into your man's hand. He drops the gun, goes over, batters him, fucks him out the door, closes the door, locks it, goes have his dinner, But there's loads of great scenes. But then it goes, so it takes a turn, and it gets really serious then at the end, and then like the whole, we say last third of that film or last quarter of that film is really dark. Even the fight with Chuck. I mean, it's revered as one of the best fight scenes ever. But it has a really sad ending to that fight scene too. I won't say it in case you watch it again.
Yeah, no, we'll watch it again.
And if you ever want to watch it, I'll drop that Blu-ray up to you. But it's a great fucking film. It has its flaws and everything else. It was Bruce Lee's first directorial, but he wrote it, directed it, and he also done the percussion and the music for it as well. Believe it or not.
I think you told me that actually. Yeah,
just such a fucking savage talent that Bruce Lee was. Amazing stuff. But it spurred me on now to watch the rest of his stuff as well. Looking forward to revisiting Fist of Fury and the reels of Game of Death that were found there a couple of years ago, and watching that again.
Have they cobbled that together into a coherent film?
No, the only way you're getting it is watching the actual Game of Death film. But I would advise anybody not to watch that and just go and root out the. It's the last element of that film where he goes to a pagoda, and each level of the pagoda, I think there's 5 levels. Each level has a master of a particular martial art in each level. And Bruce's idea was that he was showing how Jeet Kune Do could change to and adapt to fight any kind of art and overcome any kind of art. His whole idea was like, you have to adapt, you have to change. Take a little bit of boxing, take a little bit of kung fu, take a little bit of karate, take a little bit of fucking anything. Take a little bit of wushu or any of that sort of fucking art. Mix it, whatever you need to do to win. And there's one bit in it where you see him, one of the masters, I think it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar actually, has him wrapped up and he can't move, so he fucking bites him on the ankle. You can see and your man screams and lets him go, and Bruce gets out a hole, so anything you need to do to fight and win, you do it, that was his whole thing. And that whole end again, cameras pulled back, it was all Bruce's lead and that, really interesting stuff.
I've never seen it.
Don't watch the film Game of Death. There's definitely no use watching the film Game of Death. Definitely, if you're ever doing it, let me know. If you ever want to see it, let me know, and I'll give you the whole section. That's all you need to really see of it. Because what I can tell you, the storyline before he gets to the pagoda is it's supposed to be that his daughter or his sister or somebody is kidnapped. The pagoda is well revered as having a treasure at the top of it, and this baddie wants the treasure. So he says, if you don't go and fight, because he knows Bruce is like this famous martial artist, if you don't go and fight each level of the pagoda and get me that treasure, we're going to kill your sister, your daughter, whoever the fuck it is. So Bruce goes in his iconic yellow jumpsuit and cool yellow Asics and fucking does the business, but that's the storyline up to that point. You don't need to go and watch Game of Death itself. Then the actual film was chopped and changed. And
I've seen
it's
the
really really
with
pure.
His face
or with fucking big huge sunglasses, and your man kind of hiding his face from the camera and stuff. It's
it's a pity, isn't it?
Oh, big time pity. Yeah, really sad.
I also ordered 4 films last week.
Oh, here we go. You've been telling me about this.
3 of which have not arrived yet. I'm not going to tell you what they are because I'm going to try and watch them. Well, I've watched one of them already. I'm going to try and watch the 2 of them before we record again.
So not only will you leave me on a cliffhanger, you're going to leave the listeners on the cliffhanger.
Yeah, because you're either going to get really happy or really angry with what I've ordered, and you're either going to get really happy or really angry if I watched it or not. They're due to arrive on Tuesday.
Chances are you won't watch them.
No, you see, they're due to arrive on Tuesday. I have a college assignment due on Tuesday. So once I get that submitted, I'm kind of free for the rest of the week then.
Right.
So I'm going to try and watch them Wednesday or Thursday. One of them, I said 2 of them I've already seen. One of them's arriving. I'm going to show you now. It's actually a version of a film I didn't realise existed, and I actually didn't realise I ordered this version of the film because it wasn't specifically called out on Amazon when I ordered it. It is one of my favourite films. That's right, Downey, I said favourite. It's one of my favourite films.
RoboCop. Is it the original RoboCop?
That was the original RoboCop. Director's cut.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What's the label of this? MGM.
I didn't realise it was a director's cut of it. Now, I haven't watched it, as you see, it's still in its plastic.
I don't know the ins and outs of this copy,
Yeah.
but it's RoboCop. It's a superb film. ABC region. That's weird.
Apparently,
Let me know what the PQ is like and the picture quality is like in that.
well,
I'm
I might
interested.
tell you it mightn't be great, but apparently I was looking up online then afterwards after I realised it was a director's cut that I'd ordered. Like, it doesn't, you can see the front of the cover there, it doesn't actually explicitly call out that it's a director's cut.
Well, the director's cut. Let me tell you, the theatrical version is a version I saw for years, and you would have saw for years.
Yeah.
Ago. That was a VHS copy we would have had as kids putting around and everything else.
Yeah.
If the theatrical version is the only one you've ever seen, you're in for a treat, because the death of Murphy on the director's cut.
I was looking it up
Big
online.
time,
That's the
big
only thing
time.
that's significantly changed
Yeah.
by
Oh,
a
it's
couple
horrible.
of different shots. But
It's horrible.
yeah, I didn't realise I'd ordered a director's
Horrible
cut.
in a great way. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, it's horrible anyway, but it actually coming
There's
back.
loads on this too. Loads of extra.
Yeah, I
features.
saw that. Yeah, I didn't realise. Like, Amazon sometimes can be a bit fucking cagey about putting up what's actually on the Blu-ray or DVD that you order, and none of that was there, and it never explicitly called out as it. It never actually said it was a director's cut. And even if you look at the front of the box, it's just RoboCop, and it says RoboCop in big letters, and then little small letters it says newly remastered director's cut.
It's weird because the only new remaster of RoboCop I know of is Arrow Video have it,
Yeah.
and they're doing their own version of it. They haven't announced. If they have announced, I haven't seen it. Whether it's 4K or what's going to be on it, whatever. But if it's Arrow, you know it's going to be special, and it's going to come in a box set of sorts and blah blah blah.
The Commodore 64 game, which was also fucking brilliant.
It was a deadly game. Yeah. I have RoboCop 1 on Commodore 64 on tape, and RoboCop 2 and 3 on cartridge.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I don't think
still
I
have
played
them.
2 or 3.
3 is a light gun game.
Okay.
But it's actually not a bad light gun game. It's cool, and they actually came with these deadly stickers as well. These really cool stickers.
The 2 films are shit. 2 and 3 are shit.
2, I defend 2 to a degree. I like 2.
No.
3 is terrible.
3 is shit.
But no, this looks good. I'm just going to go Q&A with the filmmakers. Flesh and Steel, the making of RoboCop. 1987 featurettes, a rake of featurettes. The boardroom storyboard with commentary by animator Phil Tippett. Phil Tippett's a really interesting guy. I follow him on Facebook actually. He's great. He's done a lot of animatronic work for Jurassic Park and shit. Really, really talented guy. Deleted scenes. I've seen them, I can't remember them. Villains of old Detroit, special effects, then a RoboCop creating a legend, Paul Verhoeven Easter egg, which could be interesting because Verhoeven's an interesting fellow.
Yeah,
like, you know.
it could be Showgirls 2. It could be him naked. It could be anything.
Full commentary with Paul Verhoeven, Ed Newmeyer, the writer, which he's an excellent writer. Executive producer John Davison as well. Theatrical driver, TV spots. It looks like a great package. If that's good PQ, you could have something special here.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's MGM Blu-ray. I'm trying to think if I have any MGM Blu-rays at home to compare, or to whether they're a good label or not. I don't know if anybody out there has any further info on the MGM RoboCop newly remastered Director's Cut Blu-ray, which is multi-region Blu-ray. Let us know maybe on Twitter.
And it's a great cover, the Blu-ray.
I like the cover. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's not the tip. That's not the RoboCop font. That's a different font.
Yeah, it looks like the new one, doesn't it?
It looks like the new one.
Because when I opened it up, you know Amazon, you can see the box on the floor there. That came in that massive fucking box.
Jesus.
Right? Yeah, you know Amazon will send you, if you order a jar of salt off, and they'll send it in a box like again as big as the fucking sun. But this came and I opened it up and I saw it again. Like I saw the font and I was like, oh, "Fuck! This is the fucking remake." And then it said,
But the minute you picked it out, I went remake. Is it the original? And then it copped in the armours at.
but even then,
original.
it says directed by Paul Verhoeven
Yeah.
across the top. The remake shit. The remake's so shit.
Oh, your remake is terrible.
So shit. So shit.
Let's keep one normal human hand for whatever reason. I don't know. Yeah, it's poor. It's really poor. It's just a PG-13 action movie. It should have been an R-rated, hard-hitting commentary on current society. That's what they should have done, but they didn't.
Or they should just not made it.
Or
That's
not
also
really,
an
yeah.
option.
Well, look at what what's his face is doing. Oat Studio. What's his name? I can never remember his name. Blomkamp is doing the new RoboCop with the original suit.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Blomkamp's
Really
doing their
looking forward
triple
to
crack.
that. Yeah. His films are...
So you got 3 other films.
Yeah, I got 3 other films. I'm dying to tell you. I should tell
Well,
you.
you should tell me then. You might as well. Like,
Okay, I'll tell you 2 of them. There's one I'm not going to tell you
Right.
because I want to watch it and it looks like my type of movie and I have a funny feeling you're going to agree. It looks. When I heard about this movie, I said, right, this is just up my street. It's exactly what I like.
Deep
but
Blue
I've never
Sea.
seen it.
Saffron Burrows in it.
No, I have seen that. Tom Jane is a legend.
Tom Jane is a legend.
With his fucking frosted tips and that. I ordered Brawl in Cell Block 99,
Good man. Yeah.
which obviously I've already seen. We've spoken about it.
I
Like,
have on Blu-ray as well.
and what else did I order? Do you reckon?
Well, narrow it down a little bit. What genre is it? What
It's Bone Tomahawk.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch that next week. I'm not telling the other film because I want to see a reaction when I actually watch it. And
Well, Bone Tomahawk and Brawl, they should absolutely be in any movie fan's collection.
yeah, Brawl fucking blew me away. I know I spoke about it at length before. Really looking forward to Bone Tomahawk.
Are you going to watch Bone Tomahawk now on your own with no interruptions around you? Like, you know,
Yeah.
just you, the film, or obviously you and the missus maybe, but you, the film,
The missus won't watch this.
she won't like it.
No, she won't like it.
I don't think she'll like it. Although, did my missus watch it? I can't remember now. I can't remember. Right, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll watch it on my own. So one of the evenings next week now I'm going to sit down and watch it, all going well, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe wait till Friday the kids have gone to bed, or maybe Saturday when the kids have gone to bed. But sure, look, we'll figure that out, and I'll figure out the logistics of watching it. But the other film I really want to watch and I really want to talk to you about it when I've seen it and give my opinion. You may hate what I've ordered, you may love what I've ordered, but I think you'll find it interesting.
Right, well, I have a little bit of movie news to go off that
Yeah.
subject because I don't want to build it up too much and then it ends up being a fucking...
I just can't wait to see your reaction. You're either going to laugh or cry.
There's a little bit of movie news. There is a H.P. Lovecraft story called The Colour Out of Space. And the
Okay.
basic plotline of the story is a meteorite or something crash lands in a field somewhere. And it starts infecting the kind of world around it, changing things, changing animals, changing the flora, the fauna, the trees look all weird, but there's all these weird colours around where it crash lands, but the whole area is kind of like a cordoned off dead zone of some sort. H.P. Lovecraft wrote the story. It's a cool little story. There has been a rake of films about it consistently for years and years and years, all these different variants of the film and everything else. One being The Course. I can't remember who directed The Course. An actual actor directed The Course. I can't remember, but a movie called The Course in the 80s was based off The Colour Out of Space. Anyway, a director called Richard Stanley, who does these really kind of atmospheric, slow-burn movies, one being Hardware. You've heard me talk about Hardware before. Another one being Dust Devil, really kind of weird, again, atmospheric kind of film, kind of along the veins of The Hitcher, only a bit more, a hell of a lot more slower than The Hitcher. And I'm only vaguely kind of giving you an idea. It does, you'd have to watch to get an idea because he's very much a visual director. But and what he done, you've heard of the mad story behind the mid 90s version of Oil of Dr. Moreau.
No.
Richard Stanley was originally directing it and he was fired from it, and it was all sorts of mad shit.
Is that the one with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando?
Yeah, but it's mad. It's a mad film. Anyway, but the documentary about the making of that's even more entertaining than the film itself. Anyway, long story short, he's finally, after releasing a screenshot of his new film, and it's The Colour Out of Space. He's doing The Colour Out of Space. It's Richard Stanley and Nicolas Cage is in it.
Oh yes,
It's like, these 3 points, like you're like, wow, yeah, let's check this out. But he released a screenshot of it and it actually looks cool. It's like kind of like a distant shot of a fella getting out of his car, and it's just all the weird colour waves coming up from wherever it is going on. And
is that film Annihilation based on that?
kind of Annihilation has major it's not directly related to The Colour Out of Space, but
Okay.
it is directly influenced by the story, H.P. Lovecraft story, 100%.
What do you think of that?
I liked it up until the end.
Where she meets her fucking doppelganger.
Yeah, I thought that was silly. That was just the art wank. The end of it was just art wank.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad in it, but the rest of it I thought was great. I thought
Yeah.
the characters were good. They were intriguing characters. She was dying of cancer, so it's her last mission. She's not expecting to come back from it. The bear excuse me, the bear scene where it's coming in with half its skull exposed and it's clicking with fucking what's that? Bats use it. Echolocation.
Oh yeah.
And you can hear it clicking, trying to find them through echolocation. It's walking around, it's sniffing the mountain. So I thought that was brilliant. When it got
your one's voice.
oh, that as well, yeah. I thought that was class as well. Yeah,
deadly.
that was class. Yeah. I forgot about that. That was brilliant. And then, but when they finally got to what was that, lighthouse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The underneath the lighthouse. I thought they could have done so much more with that, but they went for just visual artistic style, and it just fell flat for me.
There's a film actually. Have you seen Midnight Special?
No, but I want to see it. I believe it's great.
It is a great film. I'm not gonna. I can't really talk about it because it'll give away the end.
Don't give away too much.
No, I won't give away anything. There's a moment you talk about the end of films and kind of like that was a bit disappointing. Yeah, this suffers from the same thing, I think. But you mightn't find it that way, but I certainly found it.
I really want to watch it. I love the storyline of it,
film.
and it's been consistently compared to in style to Starman, John Carpenter's Starman.
Oh yeah, a film I haven't seen in years now. But
oh man, every time I watch Starman, I start crying.
It's it. No, Midnight Special is a great film. Great cast: Michael Shannon and Joel Edgerton. One of my favourite actors at the moment.
We've mentioned him a few times already.
Yeah,
I loved him in the Teen prequel. Yeah, that was great.
Good in Warrior as well. Seen that?
No, you told me to watch that one already.
Yeah.
I spoke about it at length.
It's a good film. Nick Nolte's in it. He's no Nick Cage, but he's Nick Nolte, so I'd have to do. Nick Cage would have been better in that role now.
But the idea of Nicolas Cage being in a Richard Stanley film is, and having seen Nicolas Cage acting in that film Mandy. Have you seen Mandy? Have you?
No. Is that the one about the zombie or?
No. That's Maggie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
That's actually a great film. Yeah. No, Mandy is. A lot of people love Mandy. I thought Mandy was okay. There was scenes I liked in it. There was a lot of bullshit. There was a bit of fucking hours worth of shite that could have been cut out of that film, to be honest with you. But Nicolas Cage is in that, and he plays typical kind of Nicolas Cage, but in a kind of an arty-farty film. It is a bit arty-farty, but it has some great scenes in it. And it was really interesting. And the idea of him being in a Richard Stanley film now, where it's going to be full on atmosphere. You know it's going to be atmosphere, like, you know. But it's due to premiere now soon enough at some Fright Fest in America, I think, or Canada or some shit. I have to look into that, and actually we might actually look into that and update on Facebook, and Twitter, the ins and outs, because it's an interesting piece of news. Because Richard Stanley, he's like a Marmite director. You love him or you hate him. Like I like him.
Nicolas Cage is kind of the same, isn't he?
And Nicolas Cage is exactly the same. You love him or you hate him. I love him. I think he's brilliant.
Nicolas Cage,
he's mental.
I know. Like, if you
I think he plays up to it though, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Big time. Yeah.
Look at his career, right? Look at
it's insane.
You know the films.
Academy Award. Like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the films that I've seen, stuff like we talked about The Rock before. What's the other one? Gone in 60 Seconds. Con Air. They're all kind of the same.
The Wicker Man remake
type of character. Yep. So I was going to say the Wicker Man remake is way over there, way away from those. And then, like, you look at Raising Arizona. Have you ever seen Raising Arizona?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love the Coen Brothers.
And Leaving Las Vegas.
I've never seen Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's really good.
And there's another one he did, Married in Vegas or something.
I don't know that one.
There was a film he did, it's something else in Vegas. And I remember thinking years ago, is that a fucking sequel to that? And then when I heard the storylines of the two of them, they're absolutely not. Like, the Married in Vegas one's like a comedy, or like one of these screwball comedies, whatever. And you're saying Leaving Las Vegas, I've heard, is a completely dark and depressing film where nothing good happens.
Yeah. There is another trailer that dropped there recently for a World War I film. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, really looking for it, because I love war films, well-made war films. I love them. Is it 1914 or 1916? The only thing that's freaking me out about it, hold on, I'll find out about it now. What's the director? The thing that's freaking me out about it is it's the director of Skyfall. What's his name? Sam Mendes. And you know the way he goes for like his big fucking arty-farty shots while completely giving up on logic.
I'm trying to think of what else.
1917 is the name of the World War I movie. But the trailer looks fantastic. It really does. I'll be going to the cinema to see it for sure.
I'm trying to think of what else he's directed now that I would have seen.
That's curious actually. Here, well, I'll do an IMDb in here. We can have a chat about this film.
Yeah, so I'm going to open it up.
I have him here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I have IMDb. Sam Mendes. Let's see. We see done Road to Perdition as well. That was a fucking amazing film.
Brilliant film. Absolutely fantastic.
Let's see if we can change our tune about. He directed 9 films. Okay, so 1917 is due to come out, and I'm all in for that. Okay. I didn't watch Spectre because I didn't like Skyfall so much. There's another 2 films.
I watched Spectre and I remember literally nothing about it, so there you go.
Away We Go, never saw that, 2009. Revolutionary Road, 2008, never saw that. Jarhead, I remember liking Jarhead.
I enjoyed Jarhead, yeah. It's not a film I'd watch again, but I remember enjoying it at the time.
Yeah. Road to Perdition I thought was great.
Yeah, Road to Perdition is a fucking brilliant film.
American Beauty, 1989. I fucking hated American Beauty.
Never saw.
Oh my Jesus, I fucking hated American Beauty. I thought it was a load of wank about just depressed fucking rich people. I thought it was a load of shite.
So, exactly like us, depressed rich people. Oh no, sorry, we're depressed poor people.
Depressed poor people.
Yeah.
He produced a bunch. He produced 16 films. Let's see.
How much input?
Penny Dreadful. I hated that show.
Penny Dreadful, never saw.
A lot of TV stuff. Informer, Britannia, Penny Dreadful, The Hollow Crown, Grand Hotel, Shrek the Musical, Blood. It's a film. Out of the Ashes, The Kite Runner, Things We Lost in the Forest.
Have you seen The Kite Runner?
No, is it good?
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. Yeah, it's not an easy watch. It's a bit like one of those films.
It's the 2 kids and they're I'm just looking at the picture. They're being abused by their father, is it?
No. It's based in, I think, Pakistan or Afghanistan, one or the other, years back when there was no issues back then, and it kind of shows one guy, 2 friends, one leaves and moves to America, and one stays, and the one who leaves and moves to America has to come back when Pakistan or Afghanistan's at war. Which one was Kabul in? Kabul.
Is that not Iraq?
No.
Is Kabul not in Iraq?
No, I'll find it out now, because that will tell me which one it is. I'm sorry to all our Afghani and Pakistani listeners for mixing up your countries there, but just I cannot remember which one it's based in. Joe's gonna Wikipedia it now and find out for me.
Capital of Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. So it's based in Afghanistan. Yeah, it's based in Afghanistan. It's a fucking brilliant film. I wasn't convinced that I was gonna like it, and the missus says, "Look, stick this on." She'd read the book and all that shit, and she'd watched the film. It's a great film. So I stuck it on. It is really good, and it's like one of those moving films where you kind of go, "Oh man, this world is fucked. This world is fucked." When you watch something like that, and it's happening now. It's not like, when you watch, say Schindler's List, and you look at the atrocities that happened back in World War II.
Yeah.
You're kind of, it's not that you're disconnected from it. It's like, oh, that was fucking horrible. But on the other hand, it was 70 years ago. You look at this going, that's fucking horrible. It's happening now as we sit here and watch this film about it happening now.
Yeah, but the truth behind that, though, is that those kind of atrocities and the horrible shit that's going on has always been going on.
Oh, I know that, yeah.
Consistently throughout time. And that's why we really should count ourselves lucky to be born in a really good country like Ireland, and a lovely country. And we're blind to a lot of it for a lot of the time, but I think it's important to teach our kids about that shit that's going on, to give them the perspective of what this planet's like, in such a way that the idea of globalization in and of itself, where there is no, hopefully, could you imagine in 200 years time, where there's no borders anymore, there's no countries anymore, there's just the people of Earth working for the people of Earth, and what we could achieve if we could do that. And Gene Roddenberry's idea of that was we'd fucking traverse the stars, we'd be travelling the galaxy in faster than light chips. That's what we'd be doing, because humans are unstoppable if we work together,
Yeah, but
and I know that's an airy fairy idea, but wouldn't it be beautiful though?
But the other,
if we could eradicate that fucking shit.
The other side of that, though, is we've always been a tribal people.
But we have to rise above. We have to change. We have to evolve beyond that. We have to start to evolve beyond it, but we need to.
I know that, but what I'm saying to you is, look at the way human beings are set up, right? Just our culture, our society, and I mean everywhere, right? We start off as cavemen. We have our own little caves. Then we form our own little tribes. Then we elect leaders of those tribes. And it got to a stage where we didn't even want to speak the same fucking language as each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, we speak English. Me and you are sitting here speaking in English. Neither of us can speak a second language, am I correct?
I know a tiny bit of German.
Yeah, I know a small bit of Spanish, but not enough to actually get by. You go over to, say, Spain, where they speak Spanish, obviously, and in a little enclave in Spain is Portugal, which is a completely separate country with a different culture, different type of people. They speak a different fucking language. There's no accident there. The Portuguese people, whatever, fucking thousands of years ago, decided they wanted this little enclave for themselves, away from the Spanish people, and made their own language to separate themselves from, And I know, I remember years ago, some fucking crackpot taught up this pan-European language called Esperanto. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, he's a crackpot. Let's make this language that's a hodgepodge of different languages to bring ourselves closer together.
The funny thing, it brings us closer together. I know we're simplifying a massive thing here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's theses and professors who are studying this even today,
but they're fucking wrong.
But
we're the solver right here, right now.
But the whole idea of all these different tribes, and we all traversed across the land from Africa originally, right up into where we are now, across Europe and everything else, and how we changed and how we started communicating with each other. It's just literally a result of people being segregated from other people and trying to communicate with each other, and eventually going from uts and ats and grunts and shit to fucking Gaelic or fucking British to Germanic language and Spanish language and so on. But there's no harm in wishing for a planet of people.
Yeah.
A planet of humanity.
Oh, absolutely. No, I fully agree with you.
And break down the segregations and the fucking irrationality of religion and focus on what we can focus on in science and fucking goodwill and fucking good humour and good nature and eradicate disease, eradicate fucking we could. I'm very convinced that if the human population pulled together, we could eradicate fucking global warming, we could eradicate hunger, we could eradicate all this sort of stuff. We really just put our minds that we could do it. But there's all sorts of different forces in the background, pulling and going against the grain here and there and everywhere else.
Sometimes it's one person that does it. Sometimes it's one person that segregates them, like North Korea. Sometimes it's a group of people. You know, like if you even look at, say, Russia's a huge country. There are pockets of Russia that are disconnected from the rest of Russia.
Oh, fucking sure.
And it's the same as China. There's actually, I was watching a fascinating program.
Hong Kong.
Well, Hong Kong's slightly different because that was obviously annexed by the British years and years and years ago, and obviously it was only handed back 20 years ago. But there's a pocket of...
Even the Parisians think they're different to the rest of France.
You're right, yeah, you're absolutely right. I was watching a fascinating program, but there's a pocket of China up in the northwest corner that borders on, I think it's Iraq, where they're Muslims, they're closer to Middle Eastern than they are to Chinese.
Yeah.
And they're completely segregated from the rest of China. And it's the same with like parts of Russia, like Chechnya, where they're of the same kind of idea. But then if you were to put the Chechnyans and this pocket of China, I can't remember the name of the area, put them together, they would be totally different. And none of them are like the Afghanis or the Pakistanis. But again, like as you were saying, if they work together, maybe. But then again, you also look at, say, Yugoslavia. That was a fucking mess, a hot mess.
Yeah.
And now look at it separated, and you meet a Croatian or a Serbian, they're nothing like each other, despite the fact that they were part of the same country up to 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, it's...
You know?
We're a funny old race.
Oh, it's fucking weird. Like, I remember going to Germany 2 or 3 years ago, and it's mental. Like, you're standing in Germany in Berlin, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, this place is only a country since like 91 or 89.
Which? Say that again.
In Germany. It's only one country since like 1989.
No, it's not.
It is. It was East and West Germany, two completely different countries.
Yeah, but before that.
Yeah, years before that. It was on, like, I don't know, Germany.
Unification happened in
the early
18th century. Hold on, I'll tell you now.
No, but what I mean,
once they actually unified their religions and became German.
Yeah, I know that. I know Bismarck had a lot to do with that and brought Germany together and stuff. But what I mean is, after World War II, then it was completely split up, and East and West Germany were very, very different places. 18th
of January 1871.
Yeah.
The Hall of Mirrors at Palace of Versailles in France was unification.
Yeah.
So that was Germany.
That was Germany.
Then. And it was Germany right up until it split into East and West Germany. That
was they spent 40 years, a whole generation, as two separate countries, and they were very, very different. East Germany was a complete.
They never gave up trying to unify it, though.
No, I know that, but East Germany was a completely communist country, and West Germany was obviously not communist. If you even look in Berlin, the landscape of East Germany is completely different to the West because of all the architecture is this communist.
The
drab
blocks,
fucking
the
show.
tower blocks, or not the tower blocks, the apartment blocks.
Yeah, and you go into the West and it's modern. Well, relatively modern. It looks kind of like Dublin or Madrid or whatever. Normal city.
Is there any films set actually that you can think of? I know there's a couple of music documentaries set in East, in that time period in Germany. But is there any films?
The only film I've ever seen about that situation.
Spy films, isn't it?
No, it was kind of a spy film. Is The Lives of Others.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic film, very slow burner, but brilliant. It's a East German Stasi agent spying on a writer and his actress girlfriend.
Cool.
Very good, and his kind of
Nicole Kidman on that, actually.
No, that's a German film.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah, I actually have it there. I think we'll borrow it if you want. It's very good.
I should have loads to watch. Loads of good films to watch there.
I know this is really good, really, really good. But yeah, so that's
what's
our
on your
political soapbox for the week.
Stop! No, simplified and we're destroying something there probably more so than actually fucking talking.
There's nothing wrong with
two lazy
simplifying.
dads having an old chat about
Exactly,
it.
yeah. At least we're not drunk down the pub trying to solve the world.
Well, that as well, yeah. Jay's now,
I'm just drunk in my kitchen at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. But, yeah. What's on your watch list for I wouldn't put it past you cracking out a fucking Tinny Galahad now.
No.
What's on your watch list for? Are you going to get in this week done now with the college work?
I'm not going to get anything done today, tomorrow, or Tuesday. But then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are free.
Excellent.
So I'm going to try and watch those two films, Bone Tomahawk and the other one.
Don't try. What Bone Tomahawk has to be your fucking.
No, I want to watch the other one more than Bone Tomahawk.
What?
Just because I want to get your reaction to it. I think your reaction will be better than Bone Tomahawk because you know that's coming.
I highly doubt it.
No, I don't doubt it. When you see what I've bought and heard my opinions on it, you're either going to hate what I bought, which will make it entertaining, or love what I bought.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you've seen this film. I'd be 99% sure you've seen it.
I did order a couple of blues there
Yeah.
over the last week or so. I ordered, after chatting with Kev last week, he mentioned that a company in UK, 101 Films, actually released Split Second with Rutger Hauer on Blu-ray. I didn't fucking know this. So I went on, they had a sale. The night we finished up our episode with Kevin Shields was the last night of the sale. So I got Split Second on Blu-ray for £6. Black Christmas 1971 slasher for £6.
No, I'm thinking of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
And The Cooler.
Oh, William H. Macy?
Yes, for £6 on Blu-ray.
I really want to see that. I haven't seen it. Actually, sorry, yeah, just talking about £6 or whatever. The 4 films I bought were really, really fucking cheap. Like this was like £7.
Yeah, just the one thing I'll say to you about it though is there, because it that's a steal one way or the other, because the way I look at it is one way or the other it's going to be a watchable picture quality, because I mean even if it was the fucking DVD you'd sit down and watch it and it'd be grand. But just pay attention to maybe look at the reviews for those individual releases, because there's a lot of shite coming out that are bad, that aren't remastered the way they should be, and they're being sold off really, really cheap. The likes of Terminator 2 and that it's nearly impossible to find a good Blu-ray of Terminator 2. And you know how all the bad Blu-ray releases of the Predator, Schwarzenegger's Predator. There's been so many bad releases of that where they fucked up colours and everything else. So just pay attention to that. Like, you know, you might go, oh, this is £6, but you're literally buying the DVD version you have on a Blu-ray disc. Like, you know,
I don't actually have the DVD of it, so that's one film I've never owned, so I needed to own it.
Good stuff.
Speaking of crap Blu-rays, I'm fucking 100% sure we've talked about this before, but I'll say it again anyway. The Blu-ray I have of Escape from New York is atrocious.
You have to get the Studio Canal 4K version. It's amazing.
Atrocious bad. But look, it's
the Studio Canal 4K remaster has the standard Blu-ray in it as well. I think. Yeah. It's £20 on Amazon at the minute. Alright. It's definitely worth getting. That is a really good remaster.
But yeah, the four movies I bought came to £25.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So, and I looked up reviews of the one I want to tell you about, and I think it's the only copy, more or less the definitive copy you can get on Blu-ray. The other one, Brawl.
That's the only version that Blu-ray you can get.
Is it? Okay, right, yeah. And then Bone Tomahawk comes in a black case.
Yeah, I have it, yeah. Same. They're the only versions of them, unless, you know, down the line, I wouldn't be surprised if you know, a boutique label like Arrow and them eventually picked them up and done like a little box set version of them. Yeah. Or done a Craig S. Saller collection box or some shit like that, you know. But what was I going to say to you? The other two I picked up, and I don't think I spoke about these last week, but it's definitely worth highlighting, is American Werewolf in London Blu-ray.
That is one of my favourite films of all time.
Oh, it's class.
Fucking love that. Can I give you a bit of a backstory as to why I love it?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
When you've finished.
Well, I'll just fly through it real quick. Arrow Video have done it.
Yeah.
There's a little box set. It's 4K, so the colours and all, you know, are going to be absolutely glorious. Yeah. I can't wait to see the transformation scene. And I can't wait to see, like, the, you know, when his friend keeps showing up gradually more and more decomposed, and the bit at the end when he's always just grizzly and shit. I'm really, really looking forward to getting that collection. That is October, I think that's coming out. I've pre-ordered it, done. And the second one, really quick, is Nightbreed.
That Clive Barker's
Nightbreed, and it also stars that director. I can never remember his fucking name. Existenz he directed, and he directed Rabid. David Cronenberg.
Oh yeah.
David Cronenberg's in it. But the thing about I always thought Nightbreed was a bit of a meh film. Like I watched the theatrical cut loads and loads of times, and then I found out then that there was a lot of tampering going on when that was being made. And there was 2 other versions that came out. One was called the Cabal cut, which is like a work print version of the film.
Oh
which is poor quality, but it's like, I don't know, 2.5 hours long or some shit like that. But Clive Barker himself said the most definitive version is the director's cut, and that's the version coming out from Arrow Video in a lovely box set. I think that's 4K as well. Don't correct me. Don't write me in stone on that one. Yeah. But it's a lovely box set. So so pre-order that one as well. They're 2 fantastic looking releases. They come with extra little feedies, little cards and shit like that come with them too. They look amazing. I'm really, really excited about getting them.
Yeah, you actually mentioned that in part 1 last week.
Part 1 was deleted, so I'll mention it again. Yeah, grand.
We'll just rehash part 1. We'll get someone in to play Kev. Yeah. So, American Werewolf in London, right? I don't know if I ever told you this before, but how I got into watching movies was, in my granny's house, there was what was called a garage, which was obviously the garage converted into a room.
Oh yeah.
And an uncle of mine, he's only about 10 or 15 years older than me, you know, so we kind of, reasonably similar age. And he used to record movies off TV and put them on videotapes and leave them in the garage because that's where he used to watch them. So it was one of those old top loader video players. Remember the ones where they popped up? Yeah, so I used to, when there was family get-togethers, myself and a few of my cousins who, again, similar age, I was maybe, 8 or 9 or 10 maybe, and they would have been, 11, 12 or whatever. We used to go into the garage and just stick on a movie. So I saw loads of films in there. If I saw something that caught my eye, I'd stick it on. So I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, Star Wars, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Grease was another one of them.
Probably Indiana Jones, I'd say.
Indiana Jones was
Jaws.
one. Jaws.
Back to the Future.
Can't remember. Back to the Future was definitely one of them. Yeah. Ghostbusters. No, it wasn't Ghostbusters 2.
The usual 80s heavies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this would have been early 90s, I suppose.
Yeah,
so it would have been around the time they were on TV and stuff. And one of my stuck on was American Werewolf in London.
And blew your little lips off there.
Fucking blew me away. Absolutely fucking loved it, right? And years and years and years later, I went into HMV on Grafton Street when it was still. It's not HMV anymore, obviously.
No, geez, no, it's well gone now.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it is.
It's some other shop, but anyway, I went in there, and that used to be the place.
I think it's a sports shop now. Actually, it is a sports shop. I think it's a lifestyle sports or something. Go on, anyway.
I think it is actually. Yeah. If you don't remember, HMV used to be the place to get stuff.
The downstairs, the upstairs,
yes.
Games downstairs.
Yeah, so I went upstairs.
Films upstairs. It's music on the music on the ground floor.
Bought the DVD of it.
Yeah,
32 fucking euro.
Oh man, it's mad. You think of the price.
And obviously this was the early days of DVD, but it was past the stage of. I've shown you those couple of early DVDs I have of Heat and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where they look a bit ropey, and they're in little
cardboard.
Yeah. And I've one of The Fugitive as well. It's the same. So I went in and bought it. It's in the plastic box and everything. Right, 32 euros. So this is fucking great now. Very expensive, but great. So got it anyway. Went home, watched it a few times. When I moved in here, that's how long ago it was.
Did you last watch it?
No, I went to open it up. Whatever had happened, the fucking disc had cracked on the inside.
What?
Fucked. I don't know what the fuck happened to it. It's the only one that happened to, because then I had to panic and I started opening up every...
Somebody must have tried to take that out maybe without pressing the central button on the box, probably.
No,
something stupid like that.
I don't think so, because it was out of reach of the kids.
Excuse me.
I would have been the only one watching it. What I reckon happened was, when it was moving, it must have just got
leaned on
or something innocuous and stupid. Anyway, it's fucked. Can't watch it anymore. So yeah, I'll be ordering that.
Yeah, there's so many great scenes in that. The bonus. Did you ever watch the bonus features now?
And sorry to cut across you, I saw John Landis in Dublin one day.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I was sitting on a bus going down Dawson Street, you know, Cafe and Sen.
Yeah.
He's sitting outside having a coffee. Yeah. I was very tempted to just press the button to run down.
Oh yeah, and he would have had a grand old chat.
Yeah,
he's that type.
And I had to figure out whether it was him or not. And I remember googling on my phone, and it was on the early kind of smartphones. At googling, it's taking fucking forever to Google, and he was filming.
He was over here for
Burke and Hare.
Oh, Burke and Hare, yeah. He was over here for the Horror Con as well.
Was he?
I think.
Oh man.
I think. Interesting guy, alright, yeah.
The Blues Brothers was on last night.
Ah, what a film.
Yeah, I was gonna watch it, so no, I won't bother me fucking home.
But come back to American Werewolf. There's so many great scenes. I remember when I first watched that as a kid, as I used to watch all the films with my dad, and the bit where, you know, at the start where they're hiking through kind of the highlands,
the moors,
the moors, and you can hear the wolf, and they're the two of them are like fucking they're walking through like a spotlight of a fucking street lamp or something like that, and then they stop, and then no, it's the moonlight, isn't it? Sorry, the moonlight, and they can hear the fucking wolf running around them or whatever, and then it attacks. I was shitting myself as a kid at that scene, shitting myself.
Same as, and when your man turns up, you say, "Oh, the gunk's hanging off," and it does. If I'm not mistaken, his first appearance is the classic close the mirror jump scare thing.
That's right,
yeah. And
but you remember his nightmare scene?
Oh fuck that! Oh, he stuck me to dream within a dream.
It's insane.
Fuck me.
Natty demons running in, just milling his family out.
What the fuck? You're 8 or 9 years old watching this, going, what the fuck?
I was saying, what? There's all this imagery. They're Germans. There's demons. There's fucking machine guns shooting people. What the fuck?
I watched it at 30 years of age. I'm still like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But one of my favourite scenes throughout the whole film is, you remember, you don't even. It's so well filmed the way it's edited. The businessman getting off the train late at night, the tube, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's hunting him.
Yeah.
The wolf is hunting him. But he panics and he sees it and he's running away from it. And he goes up the escalator. He falls the escalator, looks back, and you just see like the fucking torso of the wolf going like this up onto the escalator. And that's all you see.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's so well done. Like, it's class.
It's fucking brilliant. I need to watch that film again.
Mr. Blobby is in that film for like half a second.
Really? Oh, he's on the TV, isn't he?
Correct. Yeah, well done. Yeah, I was wondering if you copy it.
Oh, it's such a good fucking film. Have you seen the sequel?
I love the sequel.
Oh, really?
People go mad about this.
I remember watching it and thinking, I don't like this.
But like it doesn't try to be. It doesn't try to shit on. Like they could have called it, like, you know, fucking Parisian werewolves or something, and not related it to American Werewolf at all, and it still would have worked because it's. But I just thought there was so many great scenes, like the scene where you have the disabled werewolf stuck on the. Do you remember that?
No.
Stuck on the gurney. It can't move, and it's like, can I get him? But it can't move. It can't do anything. But the bit then when the werewolves, or I should say, they have the big underground nightclub and they lock the doors and they turn into werewolves and just slaughter everybody. And your man's trying to get out. He has his arms through the door next to his arms just flop off. It's like, but and the bungee jumping off the Eiffel Tower, I thought was hilarious. And he bungee jumped off and came back up and banged his head off the fucking thing and knocked himself unconscious. There was so many stupid scenes, and I thought it was class.
There's no stupid scenes in American Werewolf in London, though.
No, it's class.
And actually, I remember this is how good it is and how much it stuck with me. Was years and years and years later, obviously when I was old enough, so we're talking 10 or 15 years later, I went into a pub in England in the middle of fucking nowhere.
What was it? The beheaded lamb or fucking the slaughtered sheep?
Lamb.
Yeah,
there's a slaughtered lamb and swords, you know, there's a pub called Slaughtered Lamb and Swords. But I went into a pub in England and it was exactly the fucking same. They stop, they turn around, they look at you.
All drinking their off an aisle.
Exactly, yeah.
Loving off.
I've never missed that board before. You made me miss. Fucking brilliant. So good.
That's your man out of 80s and Alien 3, isn't it?
Yeah. He's also in...
Loads of films, actually.
Yeah, what the fuck is he in? Because he died shortly after Alien 3, I think.
Did he?
I think so, yeah. Actually, he's an interesting one of those background kind of characters. A background actress. Remember we were talking about...
He's a great face, him. He has a great characteristic face. Kind of mean looking face he has.
I'll find out what else he was in now.
That's American Werewolf, and as I said, it's in 4K as well. And you know when it's Arrow, it's going to be good. It's going to be a nice release. It's going to be quality. The packaging will be quality. All the bits that come out will all be quality.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, I'll be getting that. Definitely. 100%.
It's on an early bird special, I think, on the Arrow website at the minute for $24.99.
Oh yeah?
Which is really good considering all the shit you're getting with it.
Brian Glover,
yeah.
He actually died many years after. He died in 1997. Like, yeah, I'm just trying to see what else.
Not many years. What's that? 4 years? 5 years?
5 years. Yeah. Because I know I'd seen him in loads of stuff. The Bill, obviously, he's English.
I wouldn't be surprised if he popped up in the background of EastEnders at some stage.
Oh, he's like in 100 fucking things. I can't go through all of them. It's too fucking many.
What time are we at anyway?
We're at 1 hour and 18, and I really need to go to the toilet, so we're going to have to wrap it up.
Oh, we wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, it's been another interesting episode.
Yeah, it's good to reconnect without having a guest on.
Absolutely,
yeah. Was chatting.
Because when guests here, we can't jump on our political soapbox and solve the world's problems.
No, let's not jump on our soapbox again.
No, I like it. I like Joe's misguided views. Communism's fucking great.
Isn't it whole? On paper, it's great fun.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
yeah.
I think we leave it at that.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes. And I promise I won't delete or fuck up this episode.
You probably will, but go on. Yeah. We probably record this whole thing on mute anyway. Go on, anyway.
Funny story. I'm just going to check that. No, neither of us are on mute.
Alright, good.
Okay. Right. How do I turn this fucking thing off?